What's going on, my nail friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mary Rosie, and this is Mary Rosie Dips. In today's video, we're doing what initially was supposed to be a simple manicure using Dreams from Secret Sisters. Just a simple one-color manicure using that white shimmery dip powder. Super easy to apply. And for my dip liquids, I'm using 10 by Tina dip base, and I'll also be using the activator. So I'm going to go straight on in and apply it to the nails. And I actually really loved the way that this looked with just one layer. So this mani turns out to be a single layer manicure. If you want a different, I guess, opacity of the dip powder, then you can most definitely do 2 layers of it. Once I removed the excess, when I took a look at the way that it actually looked with just one layer, and I really liked that look, so I had no issue skipping right over doing a second layer of that color because I love the way that it looks so much. So I will let you guys just watch this application of Dreams. And like I said, I'm just doing 1 layer on all the nails, and then we will encapsulate in clear dip powder. And here I am encapsulating in Secret Sisters clear dip powder. If you get a chance to use their dip powders, their clear is amazing, super fine, and goes on perfectly. Gives excellent glass-like coverage, I should say. So I do have the bigger jars in 4 ounce as well as the small ones because it just definitely worth it. I'd say this is the clearest powder out there on the market. And once you've applied all of your clear, give it a second to finish drying and then stiff brush the heck out of it. That's going to remove any little bubbles, any excess tip powder that you've got hanging around, and make your final look even cleaner. And then I'm taking out my 10 by Tina activator and doing 2 layers of activator on each nail so we can buff and file. And I do buff and file off camera. I think I've gotten a couple of requests for a buffing, filing, and shaping video, which I have on my list to do. So stay tuned for that, and I'll be back. Once you are buffed and shaped and filed, at this point I did that all off camera like I said before, and I am applying Modelon's gel top coat to all of the nails because I'm going to be doing some freehand nail art. So initially it was possibly going to be a sweater nail, and then it was possibly going to just be Frenchies. And then I changed my mind again. So you'll notice here at some point, I do have my ring nail not shiny because I had buffed it off when I started a design and then changed my mind. And I also wanted to see how the Frenchie look that I was doing went over matte versus a shiny top coat on the nail. So that's the only reason why it's going to look a teensy bit different, but the design ends up being the same, and I do encapsulate it in the same gel top coat anyway when I'm done. So this is just me doing 1 layer of the Modelon's gel top coat. I typically do a couple of nails and then I go in and flash cure for 10 to 15 seconds to make sure the gel doesn't move on me, and then I do my thumb. And I think I had already done the first 3 nails, and then it was the index and my thumb, and I flash cured both at the same time. So this is the first time I've used actually the second time now that I've used this gel top coat before. I guess maybe it's a new formula because I feel like I've had little black round bottles from them. Maybe it sounds vaguely familiar. Either way, I really like this new formula. It's thicker but not too viscous, and I really liked it. So pulling out my gel palette here, and we're going to be using the double dip gel liners in white and red, and then I'll be pulling out my Beetles liner brush, which is just from a set that I got on Amazon. It is like the longer It might be 20 millimeters. I don't think it's bigger than that one. So I'll just take some gel, put it on my palette here. If you're interested where that came from, it's from my sister's Etsy shop, Rosie Nurse Crafts, and she makes custom palettes like this that you just put your gel on and wipe it off and put it away. So I'm just pulling out some of the red, some of the white, and what I'll do is I'm taking that Beetles brush, and I want to make sure that I'm getting it all in the color. That way it soaks it all up and gets in between all the bristles. And you'll watch me do that here in a second, and then we'll start the design. And so this is that one nail that I had said does not have any top coat on it, because I was going to do a different design and I ended up buffing it off, but everything turns out to be exactly the same in that. So you can do that design that I did over gel top coat or just the jet powder, and it comes out the same. So I'm just taking that brush and creating the outline for my Frenchie, and then I'm going to color it in. And I decided to do a half a Frenchie, and then we're going to do a line on the side of it in white, and then we're going to just do polka dots in red and white. I thought it ended up being a super cute design, kind of like an abstract nail. And so what you'll notice is I'm doing the half Frenchie on this nail and the middle nail, just because it's red, and I'll get the red out of the way and clean up my brush and then do the white portion. Well, I did this mani a couple of days ago, and I didn't even remember that I used a different brush. Either way, I cleaned off my long brush, and I decided to use one of my shorter brushes. And once again, I'm just putting that through the white, making sure it gets in all of the bristles and in between. That way, when you make your line, it is nice and solidly pigmented, if that even sounds like correct grammar. So then I'm just going from the top, kind of all the way down. I'm pressing with medium grip, strength. I don't know. I'm not pressing too lightly because my line is not too skinny or thin, but I'm not heavily pressing because it's not super thick either. It's kind of like right in between. Medium pressure, I think, is what I'm trying to say. And then I'm just going over it a couple of times just because I wanted it to be just a teensy bit closer to the red. But that's actually a pretty straight line. I am gonna say I'm not the best at making straight lines, but the longer liner brushes are very, very helpful with that. This one is not a Beetles brush. I think this is from Clear Jelly Stamper or something, but there's plenty of brushes. I do have some in my Amazon storefront that come in a set. I just happened to grab this one because it was closer to me. So I will do the same white line on the other nail. And then I decided to just grab one of my Ritzy Dips dotting tools and just make dots along the side. I didn't really have a pattern I was going with, but that's part of the abstract design of it, where abstract just means it's a whole lot of stuff that may not actually go together. So first I was gonna do white dots, and then it seemed a wee bit too plain since the red was on the other side. So I did end up putting the red dots in between. But that is it for this mani. Once I finish up my little dots, the mani is done. And because the other 3 nails are already encapsulated in gel top coat, you won't see me do that again, but I do a second layer of gel top coat over these 2 nails with the design on it, and then we add cuticle oil, and that is it. I do want to say thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like and subscribe. I will be posting this mani on my Instagram and my TikTok as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate you all. Have a good day. Bye.